both my parents have been through aged care facility in the last 5 years. So my father Basil, after my mother passed away, his wife, he was living alone at home at the age of 89, 90. He'd had some illness physically, which made it quite difficult for him to look after himself. You know, at the age of 90, this was probably the first time in 60, 70 years that he'd been living on his own, and coping for himself was a challenge. And I think it was a mutual decision at the end of the day that aged care would provide for him a better lifestyle and certainly have 24-hour care available as he got older. So I didn't really know what the program was about because I was just visiting my dad, 2, 3, 4 times a week in the aged care facility. But he started to talk about a local school and kids were going to come in. And I was aware through the media reports of programs where young children had gone into interacted with aged care facility, and I thought that was a fantastic idea when I heard it. But when my dad talked about it, he talked about it very animated, very excited, and I was quite surprised at his level of interest and excitement at the thought of children coming in and him being able to interact and spend time with them. So I think to answer that, you need to go back and look at aged care and what it is. So as I explained, my dad, Basil, went from being, albeit alone, but being in his home, to being in aged care. And the aged care facilities that I've come across are fantastic. They do a great job, but it is what it is. And when you enter an aged care facility, you go quite often from being in a home to being in a room. And that room becomes your life. And whilst the facility will have lots of great things, coffee and bingo and physio and things like that, I certainly saw with my dad and also with my mother that their life contracts, and I think they lose a sense of purpose. What is my life about now? I'm in these 4 walls. What am I here for? And I think the intergenerational program for my dad gave him a sense of purpose. It gave him something to look forward to, and it gave him something I'm even getting emotional talking about it. I saw the light come on in his eyes, both before and after, because he got to engage with children, he got to share things with them, and I think for him, of all the things that he did at the aged care facility, it was probably the one thing that I think gave him the most joy. Often when I would go and visit him, and I would ask him, "How are you, Dad?" First thing, how's your week been? How are you? And there were 2 main responses that he would give me. I'm bored and I'm fed up. If I think back now to the last 2 years, those were the most common things that he would say. And I'd sort of go, in the few days or even the week before the children were coming, it was a very different response. It was, it wasn't bored or I'm fed up. It's, the children are coming on Thursday, and we're going to do this or we're going to do that. Or, the children were here this morning, you know, and this is what we did, and this is, and I could just see the difference in him compared to, I'm fed up because I'm just sat here, and it comes back to purpose again, I think. So what I saw this program do, and what I thought was great as a family, was it really gave him an opportunity to engage where perhaps he wouldn't engage in coffee or bingo or whatever. He would just sit there and be a passive person, whereas the intergenerational program, he has to interact. He's forced to. I think that's great. Yeah. For me, it's a no-brainer. You know, what's the risk in doing it? None. The benefits, I think, are huge, hopefully for the children. I saw it in terms of the grandparent, you know, the change in mood, giving him something to look forward to, being able to interact, and also, I think, an opportunity to reflect back on his life. And share those things with the children is fantastic. You know, he would do it with me, but I'd have to drag those things out of him. Whereas I think in the program, you know, children of that age, they don't care what questions they ask, whereas I might. So I think it probably helps him to reflect and share things that, you know, he's a pretty private person. He wouldn't share a lot of those things with his family.